It's intentional. Okay. All right.
Now we can.
Okay, now they can hear us. All right. This one, what came on? Yeah, it's great. Okay, it's 7:30. Are you ready? Huh? What's that? I'm ready. Exactly. Thank you, Liz. Okay, welcome everyone. We're going to get started. It's 7:30. Nice to have a good crowd here tonight. All right, here we go. Pursuant to Section 5, Chapter 231 of the Public Laws of 1975, this is to state for the record that adequate notice of this meeting has been provided to the public by posting and maintaining the annual notice of regular meetings on the bulletin board of the municipal building, by mailing the annual notice of regular meetings for 2023 to the News Record and Star Ledger in December 2022, and by filing said notice in the office of the Township Clerk.
Ms. Adams.
Here. Here, could you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Here.
Mr. DeLuca. Sengel.
Here.
Mayor Daffis.
Here.
Whereas Chapter 231 Public Laws of 1975, commonly known as the Open Public Meetings Act, requires all meetings of public bodies be open to the public. And whereas Section 7A provides that the governing body has a discretion to permit, prohibit, or regulate the active participation of the public in any meeting. And whereas desire the governing body to comply with the provisions of this act, same time to conduct its business in an orderly and expeditious manner. Now therefore be it resolved by the Township Committee, Township Maplewood does hereby prohibit as set forth in the formal agenda, active participation in deliberations of the governing body by the public, and except as otherwise prescribed by law, does limit the public to the observations of the actions and discussions of the governing body at all of its regular and special meetings.
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Adams.
Yes.
Stripe.
Yes.
Mrs. Luca.
Yes.
Sengel.
Yes.
Mayor Daffis.
Yes. Thank you, Ms. Fritzen. Please join us in salute to our flag. I pledge allegiance to the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. With liberty and justice for all. Isn't that appropriate on the day after July 4th? Happy Independence Day and welcome to our Township Committee meeting. We usually meet on Tuesdays. We're meeting tonight because of the holiday yesterday. And you are witnessing right now, those of you who are here in person, our first hybrid meeting. And fingers crossed, it will all work well tonight. We're going to start off our meeting tonight with a few very important promotions. We're very, very excited to officially swear in Officer Sean Lawson, who is currently lieutenant, to captain. All right. Yes. We're going to swear in Officer Sean Patrick Guerin as lieutenant. And to swear in as Sergeant Officer Jason Peter Zahowski. All right, so the oath of office will be given by our amazing clerk, Township Clerk Liz Fritzen, the one and only best clerk in the state of New Jersey. That will bring us then to our first public comment period for agenda items only. And then we will segue into the Board of Health meeting. And then we have a few items on our agenda as previously published. We will adopt the Springfield Avenue Partnership budget, the Maplewood Village Alliance budget. And then we will go into reports. We have a finance budget report from finance. Then we segue into administrative reports. We always start with our township administrator, and please welcome our new administrator, Mr. Patrick Wary. Where is he? Please stand up. Please stand up. I thought that was appropriate since, our first hybrid meeting, right? Yeah, there you go. He'll be followed by Township Attorney Desiderio, and then by Township Clerk Fritzen. Then we have reports from elected officials. The order tonight will be Committee Member Adams, followed by Committee Member DeLuca, followed by Committee Member Kripe, Deputy Mayor Engel, and then I always go last as the mayor. We only have one item for discussion tonight. And then we have several items on the consent agenda. I'd like to highlight that we are authorizing the purchase of two new lift wheelchairs for the Maplewood Community Pool. I want to thank the community for their ongoing advocacy in this regard in making our pool more and more accessible to all. Long overdue new lift wheelchairs, and I'm glad that we are doing that. This is in keeping with this administration's focus on improving our facilities throughout and focusing on tired infrastructure, improving infrastructure throughout the township. So we're really all proud to see that resolution up for adoption tonight. Then we will have the second public comment period for any subject matter, and then we will adjourn. So let's get to the very special moment of this particular meeting tonight, our promotions. Are we ready, Township Clerk Fritzen?
Yes, Mayor.
Let's
We'll
do
be
it.
starting out with resolution number 225-23. It's a resolution appointing new police captain of the Maplewood Police Department, Deshaun Marquis Lawson. Whereas a vacancy has occurred for the position of captain of the Maplewood Police Department, and whereas Deshaun Marquis Lawson has long served the Maplewood Police Department in many capacities, and whereas Deshaun Marquis Lawson possesses all the necessary qualifications to assume the duties of captain of the Maplewood Police Department, now therefore be it resolved by the Township Committee, Township of Maplewood, County of Essex, State of New Jersey, effective July 5th, 2023, Deshaun Marquis Lawson be and is hereby appointed as captain of the Maplewood Police Department.
Mayor, I move the adoption of this resolution.
Second.
Ms. Adams,
Yes.
Ms. Kripe,
Yes.
Mr. DeLuca,
Yes.
Ms. Engel,
Yes.
Mayor Daffis.
Absolutely, yes. All right. Did we do it by the mic, Liz, so you're picked up on audio? Okay. Right. So. So, Ms. Fritzen, we're hearing from people on Zoom that you cannot be heard. So we're not going to make you do the oath all over again. It's good, but for the next two, maybe we could do it on the speaker, on the microphone. You got to get a little bit closer there, Captain.
Opportunity to thank everyone, but I would be remiss if I didn't give praise to the Creator first. Thank you. Chief, Deputy Chief, it's because appreciate them calls you answering. Mother, without you, none of this would be possible. To my beautiful wife, thank you for your support. Thank you for having patience. To my son, who's the reason that I'm here, the inspiration, the reason, my rock. Everyone's here. I appreciate you all. In the words of Althea Gibson, no matter what you accomplish, there was always someone here to help you. And you guys are the village, so I appreciate you.
Take your hand too. Come on. Come on. Deputy Mayor. All right. Congratulations. Yeah. So we can get rid of that other mic like forever because it doesn't work. Resolution number 226-23.
Yes, Mayor. Next we have Resolution 226-23. Resolution appointing new police lieutenant of the Maplewood Police Department, Sean Patrick Gearin. Whereas a vacancy has occurred for the position of lieutenant of the Maplewood Police Department, and whereas Sean Patrick Gearin has long served the Maplewood Police Department in many capacities, and whereas Sean Patrick Gearin possesses all the necessary qualifications to assume the duties of lieutenant of the Maplewood Police Department, now therefore be resolved by the Township Committee, Township of Maplewood, County of Essex, State of New Jersey, that effective July 5th, 2023, Sean Patrick Gearin be and is hereby appointed as lieutenant of the Maplewood Police Department.
Yeah.
So Mayor Davis, I do move that we
Oh, we
adopt
didn't
this
vote on it
resolution.
yet.
You guys started
Yeah.
clapping
No,
before I
we're
did
so
it.
excited.
All right.
We're so
That was a dry run. That was practice. You're gonna have to do it again.
Ms. Adams.
No, we have to get the motion from Ms. Craig.
Mayor Davis, I move the adoption of this resolution.
And I'll second it again.
Roll call.
Ms. Adams.
Yes, congrats, Sean.
Ms. Creight,
Congrats, yes.
Mr. DeLuca.
Yes,
Ms. Engel.
Yes.
Mayor Daffis.
Yes,
now it's.
Now,
now it's official.
I
John Garen,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will
that I will
support the Constitution
support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution
and the Constitution
of the State of New Jersey,
of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear
and I will bear
true faith
true faith
and allegiance
and allegiance
to the governments established
to the governments established
in this state
in this state
and the United States,
and the United States,
and under the authority
and under the authority
of the people,
of the people,
that I will
that I will
faithfully,
faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly
and justly
perform all the duties
perform all the duties
of the office of
of the office of
Lieutenant
Lieutenant
in the Maplewood Police Department
in the Maplewood Police Department,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Lieutenant.
Gotta give me a second. Turn it around and speak into the mic. There you go. Thank you.
I'd like to thank my mother first and foremost. Always been my biggest supporter. And my wife, Tiffany, and my daughter who couldn't be here tonight because of dance. And everybody, thank you. I want to thank the administration for all the support. I want to thank my captain, who was my lieutenant, for all the wisdom and support that he gave me for the last 3 years. I want to thank the town council for believing in me. It truly means a lot. And I look forward to serving with each and every one of you and bringing the department and the town into the future. Thank you.
It's not official until he signs it. That's very, very beautiful and moving. These are moving moments, right? And we want to see this from our police department. We want to see human emotions. That's what it's about. And we're so proud of our department through and through. Every man and woman that works in this department, we're so proud of you. And last but not least, promotion to sergeant of Jason Zuhowski with resolution number 227-23.
Thank you, Mayor. Resolution number 227-23. Resolution appointing new police sergeant of the Maplewood Police Department, Jason Peter Zuhowski. Whereas a vacancy has occurred for the position of sergeant in the Maplewood Police Department, and whereas Jason Peter Zuhowski has long served the Maplewood Police Department in many capacities, and whereas Jason Peter Zuhowski possesses all the necessary qualifications to assume the duties of sergeant of the Maplewood Police Department, now therefore be it resolved by the Township Committee of the Township of Maplewood, County of Essex, State of New Jersey, that effective July 5th, 2023, Jason Peter Zuhowski be and is hereby appointed as sergeant of the Maplewood Police Department.
We get a motion on the resolution.
Yes, Mayor, I move the adoption of this resolution.
Second.
Ms. Adams,
Yes.
Ms. Craig,
Yes.
Mr. DeLuca,
Yes.
Ms. Engel,
Yes.
Mayor Daffis.
Yes.
Now it's.
Nice.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
I
Jason Juhowski,
do solemnly swear
solemnly swear
that I will
that I will
support the Constitution
support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution
and
of
the Constitution
the State of New
of the
Jersey,
State of New Jersey,
and that I will
and I will
bear true faith
bear true faith
and allegiance
and allegiance
to the governments established
to the governments established
in this state
in this state
and the United
and
States,
the United States,
and under the authority
and under the authority
of the people,
of the people,
that I will
that I will
faithfully,
faithfully,
impartially,
partially,
and justly
justly
perform all the duties
perform all the duties
of the office of
in the office of
Sergeant
Sergeant
in the Maplewood Police Department
in the Maple Police Department,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability,
So help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations, Sergeant.
Hey, guys, first and foremost, I just want to thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Without him, I'm nothing. I want to thank everybody here for coming here. I appreciate it, guys. I want to thank this town for giving me this opportunity. I'm going to do my best here to make this a better place. I look forward to working with each and every one of you. I want to thank my chief, deputy chief, the administration, and I look forward to this opportunity. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.
Please.
I want to thank everybody for coming out. So this test was very difficult. Okay. These guys standing here worked very hard to get here. A lot of people in the back row, a lot of these officers took the test, and it's very hard to come out and get promoted. So I also want to thank the officers that took the test and took the time from their family to study for months and go to class every, what was it, Sunday and Monday? For 7 days a week. A lot of studying, okay? And it's not just about the test as well. It's also about performance. These guys worked hard every day for years. We average sick time in there, discipline. We also look at job performance and what they have their crews doing or what they're doing in their current positions. And they work very hard. So with all that together, we came out with these great promotions that will take the department to the future. And for the officers who are looking to be promoted, look at these guys, see how they did it, what they do when people are not looking at them or are not testing. We also look into that as well. So it's not all about the promotion to do your job. You need to do your job when nobody's looking. All right. So that's how we got to these guys. These guys were doing things not because it was seen or because it was the popular thing to do. They did it because it was their job and they wanted to, help the community, That's, you become a police officer, you say, I want to help the community. Might sound corny, but actually that's what these guys were doing. So that's the kind of people we're looking for our next promotion. Again, congratulations to everybody, the families of these officers, the sacrifices you gave, because I know it takes a lot of time to get there. But now that you're in these positions, now the work really starts happening. That was a little late work there, what I'm saying? But now you guys got to. All right. Thank you, everybody.
Maplewood's finest, thank you. On behalf of the Maplewood Township Committee, on behalf of the entire community in Maplewood, we thank you. You are our finest, and we're very, very proud of you. Congratulations. Now, you're all welcome to stay for the rest of the meeting, but I'm sure you got a party to get to. So get to your party and enjoy.
We know how many people are in the audience? Do you know how many people are in the audience? Yeah.
Six.
It's 6 in the attendees.
Oh, 6. We have brought this. Yes, that is the bottom. I don't think we have.
Deborah, how are you? You. Yeah. Good. Yeah. Missed you at the bike race yesterday.
Mr. DeLuca. Mr. DeLuca,
All of your mics are
your
on.
mics are hot. Your mics are on.
Maybe ours aren't.
Maybe ours are not.
You're never going to see me at the fight. He does run. I've never run. Saw you were there. I saw you on Facebook. Yeah.
Oh, well.
We're going to resume our meeting. We have our first public comment period for agenda items only. Who is doing the public comment tonight? Who's administering it?
Amari is administering and he'll be back momentarily.
Okay, well then we will wait for Amari.
It is, so we could text with me. Do you see who, if anybody has their hand raised, you just tell me who they are?
Kathleen Hernandez, CWA 1031.
Okay,
Okay.
and Ms. Hernandez has raised her hand. Ms. Hernandez, we're going to move you over. You'll have 3 minutes to speak. Please unmute your mic. Kathleen Hernandez. Yes, now.
Hi, you guys can hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Ms. Hernandez.
Okay, so I raised my hand before the meeting started just to try to get it clear. I want to speak, but it's not on one of your agenda items. So you can either let me speak now or I can just wait to the end of the meeting for the second open time. Please indicate if you want me to wait or not.
Hernandez, just a moment, please. Thank you for your patience. No. Could we try getting Ms. Hernandez again?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, now we can hear you really well. Thank you.
So I was saying that I'd like to speak. My name is Kathleen Hernandez. I'm the Executive Vice President of CWA Local 1031, but it's not on one of your agenda items. So I was asking permission to speak now as opposed to waiting.
Sure, go ahead, Ms. Hernandez.
Okay. As I said, I'm a union rep. I represent workers here in Maplewood. I've worked with the town council and the previous town administrators. Well, we haven't had a lot of issues. This last few months, an issue arose when there was no permanent township administrator right before Mr. Wary began. And when Caesar Riccardi had left his position over in DPW, which resulted in one of my members being put on administrative leave. And I just wanted to read a statement from him so you understood what had happened. Since there was no superintendent and there was no township administrator, it kind of went right to the police and it got blown out of proportion. So to the Township of Maplewood, my name, and I'm reading on behalf of him, my name is Jerry Arnold, and I'm writing this letter in reference to an incident that happened in April at my place of employment. I am a mechanic in the DPW. My day-to-day at the shop is busy. I am doing many different tasks throughout the day, moving rapidly. It's hard to paint a picture of the shop setting, but I'm on the move all day long. I go in and out of a small office and workplace space with different substances on a daily basis. I've never had any issue with the defendant in 8 years, the defendant being his boss. I've been employed. I was shocked when all of this was brought to my attention. On the date in question, I was working and busy as normal. I went into the shop to look over paperwork for a vehicle I was working on. When entering the office, I had cat cleaner in my hands.
Oh,
When reaching for paperwork, some of the substance I was using spilled by accident on the counter and the defendant's water bottle. Once I noticed, I grabbed some paper towels immediately to clean up the spill and clean off the water bottle. I took the water bottle to the shop sink and rinsed off the bottle. I placed the bottle back in the office after I rinsed it. This can be viewed on cameras in the shop. I continue with my busy day, and it slipped my mind to mention anything because I didn't see the defendant, who is my boss, for most of the day. By the time I saw him, the day had gone by and I was leaving the building to go home. This was an accident and not done intentionally or maliciously. I've learned from this to slow down because what was a simple mistake has now escalated. I have a clean work history and it's not in my character to do something harmful to anybody. I didn't have a chance to apologize or wasn't given a chance to explain what happened. Now I'm being punished by being on administrative leave without pay for something that was an accident. I haven't been able to collect unemployment, nor have I been paid by the township. Looking for another job has been impossible because these charges come up on my background check. This has affected my life in many ways. Prior to this, I would go to work, do my job, and go home. I am not a troublesome employee and have no issues with anyone. I feel like this is an attack on my character for a mistake that I made. I am a family man with responsibilities and would never jeopardize my livelihood. My only fault in this matter is not mentioning to the defendant and to inform him what happened. In the years I've worked with the defendant, he knows I'm a stand-up person, and I'm not sure what would give him the impression I would want to do him any harm. I'm asking to resign in good stand and effective immediately, and if possible, I'm asking that the township work to help resolve this issue with the prosecutor's office. Thank you for consideration. Respectfully, Barry Arnold. So again, I just wanted to say an incident happened. Mr. Arnold is willing to leave the township's employ and not sue and not have any other issues. But, we tried to work this out, and CWA worked with the Labor Council, and we thought we had a deal. It came before the town council last meeting and was not moved. So I'm asking you to reconsider this and to look at what has happened as an accident, which is what it was. And we'd like to have everyone move on. I thank you for your time and consideration and for letting me speak out of turn.
thank you for your appeal, Ms. Hernandez. Are there other members of the public who wish to comment for agenda items only at this time? None? We're sure? Okay, seeing none, we will close the public comment period. And we're going to move over into our Board of Health meeting. But before we do that, we do have a couple moments of silence. I didn't get to do the moments of silence at the beginning of the agenda as I normally do in light of the promotions and the happy occasion that they are. So we're going to fit them in right here, right now. So tonight, we honor Robert Mancuso, the father of Melissa Mancuso. Melissa Mancuso, of course, being our Director of Community Services. And we also honor Bobby Rosengarten, who was a longtime Maplewood resident and an active member of our Seniors Advisory Committee, a lover of music and the arts. We wish their families strength during this difficult period, and we send love and support. Please join me in a moment of silence. Thank you. So Board of Health meeting is up, and I'm going to turn it over to Deputy Mayor Engel.
Thank you, Mayor. Pursuant to Section 5, Chapter 231, PL 1975, this is to state for the record that adequate notice of this meeting has been provided to the public by posting and maintaining the annual notice of regular meetings on the bulletin board of the municipal building, by mailing the annual notice of regular meetings for 2023 to the News Record and Star Ledger in December 2022, and by filing said notice in the office of the Township Clerk.
Ms. Adams?
Here.
Right.
Here.
Mayor Daffis?
Here.
Mr. DeLuca?
Here.
Sangel?
Here.
Whereas Chapter 231, Public Laws of 1975, commonly known as the Open Public Meetings Act, requires that all meetings of public bodies be open to the public. And whereas Section 7A provides that the Board of Health has the discretion to permit, prohibit, or regulate the active participation of the public at any meeting. And whereas desire of the Maplewood Board of Health to comply with the provisions of this act, same time it conduct its business in an orderly and expeditious manner. Now therefore be resolved by the Maplewood Board of Health, Township of Maplewood, does hereby prohibit, except as set forth in the formal agenda, active participation in the deliberations of the Board of Health by the public, and except as otherwise described by law, does limit the public to the observation of the actions and discussions of the Board of Health at all its regular and special meetings.
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Adams?
Yes.
Ms. Cripe?
Yes.
Mayor Daffis?
Yes.
Mr. DeLuca?
Yes.
Ms. Engel?
Yes. Now I move the approval of the meeting minutes from the June 7th, 2023 meeting. Do I have a second?
Second.
Ms. Adams?
Yes.
Ms. Cripe?
Yes.
Mayor Daffis?
Yes.
Mr. DeLuca?
Yes.
Ms. Engel?
Yes. And next, I will turn it over to our public nurse. I'm going to mispronounce your name, Anna. Our public nurse, Anna Markarova, who is filling in for our health officer this evening with the Board of Health report.
Evening. Thank you, Deputy Mayor Engel. You pronounced it absolutely correct, so thank you. I will be sharing my screen so that I can put up the presentation. All right. Everyone see that inside council chambers?
Yes, we can. Thank you.
Perfect. Okay, so here's the Board of Health presentation for tonight. Thank you, Ms. Engel. Mayor's wellness campaign is still going on. Here are the schedule for the rest of the remainder of the walks for the rest of the year. If you want to join the mayor and any other TC members for the walk. And here's the website for all of our programmings that we have done with the Mayor's Wellness Campaign thus far, and updates on that. For animal control, here are the numbers for June we acquired from the Bloomfield Animal Control. We have had a total of 15 calls in Maplewood, 3 of them being domestic animals and 12 of them being sick and injured wildlife that the Bloomfield Animal Control has handled. There was a total of 3 after-hours calls regarding it. You want to just bring up the coyote attack that happened in the South Mountain Reservation last week. It was in Maplewood, New Jersey, just in the reservation, and a coyote attacked 2 individuals as well as a small dog. All parties are being treated at the moment, and luckily enough, there were no fatalities to it. But some tips on keeping coyotes away: if you do see them in your backyard, if you see them while you're walking your dog at night, or even if you see them in the reservation. Most of the times coyotes will not approach you as they are also scared of you. But some of the times they could be susceptible to seeing your pet and may see them as a predator. So keep your garbage properly contained. That goes for coyotes, that goes for rodents, that goes for a lot of wildlife. They are attracted to garbage, so do try to keep that contained in your outdoors. Do not feed pets outside, especially if you have feral cats outside or you have outdoor animals. You want to make sure that you bring the food in at the end of the day so that there's no outdoor food for coyotes to smell and come towards. Keep your grills clean, remove any standing water sources, dispose of any rotten fruit that has fallen from trees because that is a food source to them. Remove any bird feeders. They're attracted to both the bird seed and the bird as predators. Dispose of any dead wildlife that you may have on your private property. You can contact your waste removal company. You can contact the Maplewood Health Department and we can guide you into a specific place to get dead animals removed from your private property. Keep shrubbery trimmed, secure areas around the decks and the yards, and don't be intimidated by a coyote. I know that's easier said than done. They're very intimidating, but if you make loud noises, throw a small object at them, raise your arms and yell at them, they will most likely get scared away and run off, and then just try to get inside as soon as possible if you do see them. For communicable and infectious diseases, here's the Essex County Mobile Health Clinic schedule for the next week. They have their COVID-19 testing as well as other health screenings that they are offering, such as blood pressure, stroke risk assessment, glucose, and stuff like that. So these are the schedule for that. COVID-19 update. COVID-19 luckily has been in low transmission recently. So that means that there's less than 10 new hospital admissions per 100,000 people in the state of New Jersey. So COVID is doing well this summer. Environmental health, these are just some numbers, is what our team has done this month for environmental health, including restaurant inspections, camps, summer camps starting. We always have to do a pre-operational inspection, complaints, notices of violations, and summonses. Fire lantern flies, they were not seasonal, they are coming back. So if you do start to see them in any stages of life, which you can see on this PowerPoint, do try to get rid of them. You can stomp on them. You can, I believe, spray like a combination of water and vinegar on them. So do try to get rid of them because they are very bad for our ecosystem. They won't harm humans, but they will harm our trees and our ecosystem. So do get rid of them at any stage that you see them. We ran an open gym at Columbia High School this past month with Cooperman Barnabas, our WJ Barnabas in Health. There was information about sports nutrition, concussions in youth, and sports. So it was a great program that is usually run by the Maplewood Police Department. And then we added Cooperman Barnabas into it to give the kids a kind of education and safety tips when playing sports. Here are some human service, social services numbers that were provided to us by the New Jersey Department of Human Services. They're really great numbers to have on hand if you or someone you know is ever going through a crisis and you need some help or treatment. Essex County does monthly community grocery giveaways for anyone who may need some food and some groceries. They did just have one this past month in June, and it looks like they are delaying it until September 21st. And as long as you are an Essex County resident, you can bring a cart and you can have some groceries given to you for free. And then the community fridge, I know there has been a lot of concern with the community fridge. I just wanted to add that after a lot of discussion internally and with the Township Council, the Township has decided to implement some new hours for the community fridge. That those hours will be from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. 7 days a week. DPW is working to install doors for the closure of the fridge so that the actual structure can be closed. The parking lot that is behind it will be closed overnight from 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. 7 days a week. That has begun. So as you may notice, there are barricades already by the parking lot, and the police department is closing it overnight to stop with people congregating and staying there in the parking and idling, because that is also an environmental concern as well. And Department of Public Works is doing a phenomenal job trying to increase their cleaning and removal of personal items that are being in and around the fridge and under bushes. So hopefully with these new implementations in place, we will see some change and some good outcomes from this. And that's the end of my presentation. I will stop sharing my screen.
Thank you so much. Any questions for our public nurse from my colleagues?
I do.
Mr. DeLuca.
Thank you. I wanted to ask about the smoke that's coming from Canada. And what are we hearing? I know when we had the issue in June, we canceled some activities in the evening when it was really bad. What are we doing? And what we're getting calls from parents about sending their kids to our outdoor activities, and wanted to find out how we are answering that. What advice are we giving to our Department of Community Services to make sure that we're clear in doing outdoor activities? You know, some of it is pretty strenuous with tennis and things like that. So.
Yes, absolutely. So we, I believe, have hit the brunt of the Canadian wildfires. Unfortunately, they are not 100% contained. So we are still seeing some of the smoke coming in as the winds come in this way. Today and tomorrow, the NJDP did put out an air quality issue warning throughout tomorrow, and it's supposed to go up to unhealthy for sensitive individuals. That's the orange zone. The EPA actually does have great outdoor activity guidance that I shared with administration as well as our Director of Community Services. And I can just pull up and share my screen just so you guys can see what I'm referencing really quickly. So here is the air quality and outdoor activity guidance. So currently, for most of today, we were in yellow, moderate. So that's good. It's a good day to be active. We go through yellow and green quite frequently throughout the year. That is pretty standard. In orange, it's okay to be active outside, especially for short activities. For longer activities, for people who might be sensitive, for people who might have respiratory issues or asthma, or even the elderly or younger children, they should take more breaks and do a little less intense activities, especially if you start to feel like you're out of breath, shortness of breath, or you're starting to cough a little more, you're feeling those particles coming into your lungs. So if you ever feel that, you want to make sure that you take a break or go inside. It really becomes when the activities outdoors start to get canceled when we are hitting more the red and the purple level, which is what we saw during the impact of the Canadian wildfires, which we've never seen before, recently at least. And then that's when you start to consider moving more activities indoors for all individuals, not just those who are sensitive. And again, if you are in the sensitive category, you want to make sure that if we are in orange or red, to wear a KN95 or N95 mask when you are outdoors, because those are the only masks that will help stop the small particles from coming in. Does that answer your question, Mr. DeLuca?
Yes. I guess the question is, when we have hundreds of kids in a camp, you have kids of all, conditions. Some kids they're not going to be affected. They're also kids. They're not adults, and they don't know when they feel tired or when they're coughing, what the reason is. So I just think I understand that this is sort of the playbook. This is what we tell people. And for adults, this is great because they can make up their minds. But for kids who can't articulate what their concerns are, what issues there are, I think we need to have maybe some kind of a sit down and just figure out all these things, a clear message for our parents. We're kind of strapped. We don't have indoor facilities. So these kids are outside. And, is there something that parents should, if anyone has had, their child has had any kind of breathing issues, should that be brought to the forefront? These are, I think we need to implement more than just sort of, this is the state notice and just tell them what color it is. I just think we have to get a little deeper. And Mr. Wary, I'm looking at you because maybe you could pull together the health people with the sports people, find out what other towns are doing. Maybe we can use some of similar messaging If we have to look for indoor facilities, schools are out, we have a couple churches around, maybe we can look at that. So let's make a plan. I mean, we're really good here at planning. You know, when we see this stuff coming up, we make plans. So I don't think it can wait till Health and Human Services at the end of the month. We need to figure this out now.
Yeah. I mean, do we have a policy in place? That's not clear to me at the moment.
Previously, when we had gone into the red, we had canceled outdoor activities. When we had been in green and yellow for a sustained period and then went back into the orange, which just happened once, we put out another alert just so that people were aware of the situation. We hadn't put out daily updates unless it was impacted. It had gone into the red and impacted any of our recreation programs. For the last update that we put out regarding the air quality and had mention of recreation, we were in the orange. So that was the alert was for sensitive individuals. And we had said to parents that if you or caregivers that if you had somebody attending those camps that fell into those categories of sensitive individuals, to discuss it with either the camp counselor or they could call into recreation. Because for those specific individuals, the guidance generally is either perform intense activity for shorter periods of time or take more frequent breaks from intense activity. And that's something that we can certainly arrange in our recreation programs. But it is a good idea for us, just to put out a statement general to what can parents do regarding these air quality alerts and how they can communicate some of that information with our recreation department. So we can certainly do that. And we had looked already at some other indoor space, which is there was not much available, but we can continue to do that. And if you have any ideas, please share them.
So again, our current policy is, I'm speaking slowly because of the audio issues in here. Our current policy is that up and to including orange, we say parental choice. These are the hazards. Red and above, we take action, proactive action to cancel. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay. Does that help in terms of our having a policy?
Yeah, well, does that mean that do people get refunds if they don't want their kids in the camp anymore? I mean, we're talking a little different than before when this was a sport, you're out there for a couple hours. We're in custody of these children for 8 hours a day and it's outside.
Yeah.
There's a little time inside, but it's outside 5 days a week. So parents need to know that that's what the camp's about.
Yep.
So it's really a communication, being clear about it, because we don't need a lot of phone calls. Should I send my child to camp or not today? We should have a clear policy, and then the parents should understand that if they are sending their children to camp, this is the situation. They're going to be outside. And if they don't want to do that, then they should get some kind of refund and figure out some other kind of care for their children.
Okay. And on the day that we had canceled all of our rec programs, it was treated like if we had a rain out. And I believe that there were refunds issued for that day.
Okay.
But again, that's something we can spell out in a message to parents that they're aware of this before we get into another air quality alert.
Thank you. Miss Adams, did you have a question for our public nurse?
No, I just had a clarification on her lanternfly recipe. I'm a vigilante lanternfly murderer, self-confessed, but it's equal parts water, Dawn dishwashing liquid because it has a lot of chemicals in it, and rubbing alcohol. And you just spray them and a couple times and they get it on them and they die almost instantly. So I've gone from lots of little nymphs to like 1 or 2 a day. So I feel like I'm winning the battle before they get old. But so It might be something you want to put on the website, just the recipe for that, because most people have those things in their homes, so.
Sounds good. Will do. Thank you, Ms. Adams.
Any other questions from my TC colleagues?
Yes. I have a statement and a question and a proposal. Okay, so let's go to the community fridge. I just want to state for the public, and I'll make this part of my report in a little bit too, when we get to elected officials report. I want to make it very clear to the public, those of you out there who took the time to reach out to us by letter, by email, by voicemail. We understand the serious public health and public safety issues that you have raised concerning the community fridge, and we take them very, very seriously. And we are working, as our public health nurse noted, we are working with Health Department, Public Works, and with the Police Department to mitigate some of those issues. As you already saw, we are going to be regulating the community fridge a lot more than before. We didn't have these issues the first year that the fridge was open and available, but now we do. So we have to take action. It'll be a lot more regulated. So it will be closed at night. We're also going to be implementing regulations in terms of distribution. And we're going to be working with the health department that's doing research into this, looking at best practices across the nation at successful community fridges. And we're working with our social services providers to make sure that whatever we do is appropriate and not harmful to anyone. But we know we have issues we need to mitigate. We have fights there because there isn't enough food because of hoarding. And we have other issues that could become more serious public safety threats. We don't want anyone to feel unsafe. And what we're doing is trying to help those in need. And we know that there are Maplewood residents who use the fridge. But with some new regulations in place in terms of when the fridge will be open and certain distribution times and even a distribution limit, we can ensure that more people will get what they need in a safe manner, and that the residents surrounding the community fridge, including our merchants, our business owners, many of them who are women-owned, will not feel threatened by the community fridge. As you saw, we will be closing it at night and the parking lot behind it. We're also removing some of the benches there to, alleviate congregation of anyone late at night. And we're working with our social services providers to provide assistance and support to those who may be houseless or need other support so that they don't hang out there at night. It's not safe for them and it's not safe for anyone else. So I wanted to make that clear, and I want to ask, here's the question on this topic. I wanted to ask administration where we are with some of these things and the health department who's doing the research.
So on our side, we have removed the picnic bench that was there and was originally put there when the farmer's market was there. So we moved that to a location that was better suitable, would be better used. We have increased the frequency of cleaning both the fridge, but then also added in the cleaning of the area around the fridge, extending through the parking lot. As we understood from some residents that that area had started to accumulate some litter. We have started to shut down the parking lot around the fridge each night. So the police department is putting up barricades each night and removing them every morning. The next step on our side is to install doors on the shed itself so that we can shut those doors at night and have them reopened in the morning. So our DPW is building those doors and will be installing them, I would expect, in the next few weeks. So that's everything on our side. And then the remainder of the work will be from the health department, who's doing those questionnaires of people using the fridge and frequenting the area, so we can decide how best to serve those individuals. And the health nurse could speak better to that aspect.
Thank you for that. So for our public health nurse, how soon do we anticipate starting our engagement there in terms of surveys and looking at how we can better regulate distribution itself?
We are hoping to start the surveys this week with the weather constantly raining on and off. It wasn't the best time and having a lot of people over there. So now that the weather is kind of stabilizing, we're hoping to start to do that this week. And in terms of the research, our intern is currently in the process of it, and the hours, along with the survey, will help decipher what our next steps would be and what we would be researching after that.
So what is the expected timeline of that work product?
Of the interviews?
The research, the surveys. I mean, are we looking at doing some of the stuff that we're taking very seriously from the public in 3 months, in 6 months, or in 2 months, or in 1 month?
They're kind of in 3-month increments. So for the first 3 months, we're going to change the hours. We're going to clean up the garbage. We're going to go through that. And then 6 months after that, we're hoping to deal with the distribution aspect of it and see if we can find partnership, a way to mitigate the distribution and figure out a best distribution. So it's a 3-month and then a 6-month plan. 3 months is the first steps where we're doing the hours, the barricades, the interviews, and then it's a 6-month after that. So hopefully within the next 6 months, there will be a complete research piece on it.
I see. I mean, for me personally, I don't know how my colleagues feel on the township committee. I think 6 months is, far away. I understand and appreciate that we're taking some actions immediately. Those are great. But I do think that, some of this other stuff needs to be done within the 3-month mark, so that we could say that by the end of September, we are engaging more. We're looking at a more regulated distribution. We're getting input from food pantries who may want to become partners with us, and so on and so forth. So is there any way to fast track this a little bit?
Absolutely. Absolutely. We'll have our intern as well as all of our health department parties doing as much as they can for the intern and try to speed up the process. Absolutely, Mayor.
Okay, thank you for that.
I'm on now. Okay. The DPW has a ton of stuff to do. These doors need to be put up. This 3 months, 6 months is unacceptable.
Yes.
Not for the
Okay.
doors.
The doors have to get put up. I don't think we should wait for DPW. I think we should get somebody to put the doors up. I'm not even sure what kind of doors you can put up there unless you put some kind of door that disappears or folds up or something, like a roll-up door. Because you can't open the doors out.
Mm-hmm.
You will block where the garbage is and now where the library book, the book thing is there. So you need to have some kind of roll-up door. And I don't think we should have DPW do it. It will take too long. They have too much to do, and this is too important.
I agree with that. We don't want to over design this and, 3 months from now, talk about.
Broken off the hinges.
Yeah. We just need to go over to Home Depot and get some doors and some locks and make it happen.
But you
Understood.
might not be able to put them on. You might want to do, turn the shed around and use the doors that are already existing on the back.
No, I don't agree with turning the shed around.
No eyes on it then.
Yeah,
No, I don't,
too much
no,
effort with
I
that.
mean, okay, don't misunderstand me, please. I meant turn the whole shed around so that the fridge is still in the front, but that already has lockable doors. So it might be an option. Is what I'm saying.
Right, but the concern is when those doors open, they open up wide and they'll block the garbage can and the book.
Or it may need to be adjusted movement wise. I don't think you're gonna, a roll-up door is gonna be able to be secured to.
I think the roll-up door is probably the only thing that'll be secure in that thing. I think if we have a padlock or a regular lock, if folks
I
are
think we can
desperate
get an
enough,
expert to
those
show
doors are
us.
friendly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we can reach out to someone and have them come in and do it. There's folks that do doors.
I can put eyes on it this week and report back to the township committee with a recommendation. We'll get DPW moving on, if not building them, ensuring that they get installed in a timely manner.
Right, and putting the framing in place if they need it. Okay.
Terrific. And then I'm going to go back to the unhealthy air. Look, I've been following this. I'm not a scientist, obviously, but I've been following this. This is not going to go away. This is like going to be our new normal. It's not going to be red every day. It's likely going to be between orange and red, and sometimes purple when there are wildfires near us. So I think as good government, as we have always been, we need to take action and think about some protective measures that we can take. I'm thinking about, when we say sensitive populations, I'm thinking about some of our seniors who are isolated at home, in older homes perhaps, that don't have proper ventilation, including air conditioning. Because even indoors, it's a threat if you don't have proper ventilation indoors. So I ask administration, if I have the support of my colleagues, to look into how we could maybe buy a few air purifiers and distribute them, do a couple distributions, first come, first served, so that we can get them to people who need them. We can do it at the library, we can do it at the pool, we can do it here, you know, if the township committee would support that.
Of course.
Yeah, I'm totally in favor of that.
Yeah.
And they can be added to the health kind of like checkout thing we have for crutches and the other medical supplies.
Are there any qualifications you would like to put on eligibility? And is there any overall budget, being at its first?
I don't think we should do that here. I think that's your job at working with health to do that.
Right.
Right.
And you can
Yeah.
report back to us what you recommend.
Okay.
Let's just make it happen.
Yeah. Thank you for indulging me. I appreciate it.
Busy Board of Health meeting today. Anything else from my colleague or our public nurse? At this time, I'll open it up to the public for any questions for our public nurse. Do we have anybody? Give it another minute just in case. No hands up. All right, let me go back to my agenda, which disappeared. I move to adjourn our meeting until our next Board of Health meeting on Tuesday, August 1st, 2023. Do I have a second?
Second.
Ms. Adams,
Yes.
right,
Yes.
Mayor Daffis,
Yes.
Yes.
Ms. Engel.
Yes. Back to you, Mayor.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Engel and Chair of our Board of Health. Nice job. And it was a good discussion tonight. We covered some important topics. Okay, next up is item 8 on the agenda, Springfield Avenue Partnership Budget.
Mayor, I could report on that and conduct these two portions for you.
Please.
We have first of all notified every property within the Springfield Avenue Partnership of the budget and the fact that the time set for a hearing on the budget for 2023 was tonight at 7:30 p.m. So the first thing that we'd like to do is move that can read the budget by title. So Mr. DeLuca, would you care to move that resolution?
I move resolution 218-23.
Second.
Ms. Adams,
Yes.
Ms. Cripe,
Yes.
Mr. DeLuca,
Yes.
Ms. Engel,
Yes.
Mayor Daffis.
Yes.
Mayor, now would be the time and place to declare the time open for hearing on the 2023 budget of the Springfield Avenue Partnership.
Thank you, Ms. Fritzen. Do we have any members of the public who wish to comment on the 2023 budget for the Springfield Avenue Partnership? Seeing none, we'll close the public comment period. Move,
Okay, Mr. DeLuca, next would be.
Yes, I would move resolution 219-23.
second,
Ms. Adams?
Mayor, excuse me, Ms. Fritzen, before you start, I'm just looking at the agenda. Did we crisscross MVA and SAP on these? I just want to make sure we're doing the right budget for the Springfield Avenue Partnership.
Yeah.
To Roger's point, it's
My copy says under 8A, 2023 MVA introduced budget, but I think we're talking about the Springfield Avenue Partnership here.
That's correct. We're on the
Right.
Springfield Avenue Partnership.
Okay, so Mr. DeLuca has moved the budget for the Springfield Avenue Partnership, and the hearing we just had was for the Springfield Avenue Partnership, and the resolution that you're now going to read with regard to 2823 is for the Springfield Avenue Partnership budget. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay,
which is under 9A.
right.
Ms. Adams?
Yes.
Ms. Cripe?
yes,
Mr. DeLuca?
Yes,
Ms. Engel?
Yes.
Mayor Daffis?
yes,
Okay, next, Mayor,
yes.
is the hearing in concerning the Maplewood Village Alliance budget for 2023. That tonight at 7:30 PM is the time and place for hearing on the 2023 Maplewood Village Alliance budget. Notification has been made to all property owners.
Can we get it? Oh,
I move for the adoption of resolution 220-23.
second,
Ms. Adams?
Yes.
Ms. Cripe?
yes,
Mr. DeLuca?
yes,
Ms. Engel?
Yes.
Mayor Daffis?
yes.
The hearing, Mayor?
Hearing,
Hearing time.
yeah. I thought you were going to do it like you did the other one. No?
I am.
Oh, okay.
Now would be the time,
Yes,
Mayor, for a hearing on the 2023 budget for the Maplewood Village Alliance.
thank you, Ms. Fritzen. Are there members of the public who wish to comment on the 2023 Maplewood Village Alliance budget? Gentlemen? No hands? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing.
I move for the adoption of resolution 221-23.
second,
Ms. Adams?
Yes.
Ms. Cripe?
yes,
Mr. DeLuca?
yes,
Ms. Engel?
Yes.
Mayor Daffis?
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you. And that will be the final information, which will go out to every property owner about the assessment.
Terrific.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Fritzen. Item 10 is report from departments. We have one published budget report for June 2023 from the Finance Department. And this brings us to administrative reports. We'll begin with Township Administrator Wary.
Thank you, Mayor. Just one item. I wanted to thank our Deputy Clerk Amari and our AV consultant Rod, who came in and pretty quickly organized how to go to a hybrid meeting setup, which wasn't an easy thing to do, but so far has gone well enough that we can continue with this format. We got a couple of things to work out, but it's gone well so far. So I just want to make sure we acknowledge them. That's my report. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Wary. And we are very grateful for Deputy Clerk Allah and Mr. Rod. I'm sorry, sir, I didn't get your last name, for jumping in to make this happen for us. Are there any questions from the Township Committee for our administrator? Okay, seeing none. Thank you, sir. We'll move to Township Attorney Desiderio.
I have no report, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Desiderio. Any questions for Mr. Desiderio from the Township Committee?
yes. Thank you, Mayor. Mr. Desiderio, you and I had a conversation by phone earlier today. I'd like to sit with you and talk about the changes to the township's pay-to-play ordinance, which actually have been overruled by the state's new law. So, and while doing that, I would like to take a look at the ordinance and shore it up. I was somewhat uncomfortable this year in the election season when we had candidates riding in fire truck in the Memorial Day parade, and we had township sponsored events, which turned into campaign rallies, frankly. So I'd like to talk about that also as part of our ordinance. We have a very broad ordinance about what can and can't be done on public lands, including signs and things like that. So, Mr. Desideri, I'll reach out to you and we can talk about that.
Yes, sir. Just coincidentally, Mr. Weary brought to my attention also the pay to play. So it's on our radar.
I wholeheartedly agree with Mr. DeLuca on that.
Okay. Any other issues or concerns for Mr. Desiderio from Township Committee? Okay, we'll move over to Township Clerk Fritzen.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a couple of quick things. Just, number one, to report that we have, to be scheduled very soon, probably starting next week, 6 more event planning, meetings, which, as you know, are very productive in making sure that the events run smooth, the large scale events. And, also I'd be prepared, to provide to the Township Committee, a report on our recommendations for the filming ordinance. And in particular, Ms. Adams has been interested in bringing that to the subcommittee, but I would also at the same time be providing a copy of my recommendations to the Township Committee. And that's my report.
Thank you, Ms. Fritzen. Any questions from the Township Committee for Ms. Fritzen? Okay, thank you. We'll move over to reports from elected officials and we'll begin with Committee Member Adams.
Thank you, Mayor. I just have a couple quick things. First and foremost, everyone's looking forward to Maple Woodstock this coming weekend, Saturday and Sunday. Starts at noon both days and goes till, I believe, 9 o'clock or maybe 10 o'clock on Saturday. So lots of vendors, hundreds of vendors for art and for food, and beer and wine garden bartenders from South Orange Elks Club. So urge everyone to go out for this fabulous free event, 2 days in Maplewood Memorial Park. You can get more from maplewoodstock.com. And then just to let everybody know, on the Township Committee, the recycling, we are going to meet the joint committee of South Orange Maplewood that met for quite a while to change our recycling procedures and do dual stream and so on and so forth. We are going to meet to just kind of ensure that both towns are comfortable with the current hauler, because they weren't in the beginning and they seem to be now. And there was some clarification today actually on whether or not we need to actually go out for bid for that. So we'll probably be meeting in the next week or so, and I will report back with an update. But it looks like we may be able to just, we have the option for another year for each. So we might just do that. So anyway, that's my report, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Committee Member Adams. Any questions for Committee Member Adams? Okay, we'll move over to Committee Member DeLuca.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to thank everybody for your patience with the library construction last week when we had to close Baker Street. I know it was a little bit of a pain, but the gain was there because we were able to finish pouring of the floor of the cement, and also started the installation of the steel. So that's a big deal because we need the steel in order to put in the first floor and the second floor. And so things are really moving ahead there. And but again, it was a difficult week. We had a lot of trucks out there, a lot of digging in the road, but that should not happen again for a while. Just I know we had as you, and I always say this about the emergency management, we were doing planning and why planning is so important. Last Wednesday, Mr. Weary and Detective Delias and I did our quarterly emergency drill with the county. And what we picked as a topic was disabling a train from the Maplewood station
This morning.
at the Jefferson overpass.
Wow.
And we did that exercise last Wednesday, and today it happened.
Yes, it did.
Although we had a little different scenario. This was a wire. We had a truck running into the bridge and all that, but it, it did. We talked about the parking lot there next to the train station being the staging area once we get the people off. We talked about the buses being at the corner of Oakview and Donnell, and that's where they were. So it just pays to talk these things out because you never know. So that's all I have. Thank you.
We were well prepared. Committee member Cripe.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a couple things. Just wanted to reiterate what Nancy said or what Committeewoman Adams had stated earlier about Make Woodstock, particularly for our senior members and our members who may need a little shade. The Soma 2 Towns for All Ages tent will be set up at the top with chairs and water. So if you find yourself in position out at the park on Saturday or Sunday and you find yourself a little lightheaded or needing shade, please don't feel that you can't come stop by. That tent is there for the community. It's all ages. So it's not just for our older population, that anyone who needs assistance, who needs some shade, can stop by. Again, congratulations to our 3 promoted police officers. I am so juiced after that week of interviews, even though it was long. I really appreciate the fact that all 3 of these gentlemen are going to help continue to move Maplewood into the 21st century without policing. We are a very lucky and blessed community to have so many officers not only willing to or coming to work here, but they come to work here in a way to where they're going to make the place better, not just collect a paycheck. And I really appreciate our captain and our chiefs and sergeants and lieutenants, all of them just working together to make our community that much safer and that much more professional in how they work within our community. You've given all the other parts and everything, so that's pretty much it for me. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Committee Member Cripe. Any questions for Committee Member Cripe? It's teamwork, right? We all do a little bit of everything. Deputy Mayor Engel.
Thanks, Mayor. I wanted to let the public know that applications to join our new Fields Committee are up on our website. So we have people who are going to be appointed from various committees and boards that are in existence. And then we also have at-large members. So anybody who's interested in joining that Fields Committee, you need to be a Maplewood resident, but please apply. If you are affiliated with one of the organizations, there should be a list somewhere. You can contact me to get it. You can also apply to be appointed. And I look forward to meeting all of those people who are interested. So we're going to start appointing people to that new committee. I wanted to mention that it is pool season. It is hot out. The pool is happening. We do have a Pool Pals Assistance Fund that we could use some donations for, so that all families in need can join our pool. We also have a Rec Assistance Fund that I'll just shout out so people know that they can donate a little bit of money to help our other residents who might not be able to afford to take part in our programming, to help give them a little assistance to take part. And then I'll just mention some of the 4th of July activities, but then I'll bounce it over to you. Thank you to the CHS Parent Association or Track and Field Parent Association for a great hot 5K. It was really great to be out there with my 11-year-old and to see all the Boy Scouts volunteering at the water tables and all the track and field stars cheering us on. So it was a great event. Missed the bike parade because it was so hot and a long race, but I look forward to hearing from you. And I wanted to just mention tomorrow night, Thursday, starting at 6 o'clock in Memorial Park, are our rescheduled Independence Day celebration. I'm really excited for our youth band Frequent Flyers, who you may have seen many, many a time at Yale Corner coming to the main stage. For youth who are rising CHS 9th graders, Shane, Oliver, Susanna, and Silas will be taking the stage at 6. And then the Mad Slap Tones will be taking the stage at 7:30. We'll have some food and lots of celebration and fireworks. And that is my report.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Engel. Any questions for the Deputy Mayor from the committee, the rest of the committee?
Just a clarification. I'm sorry. I don't know if you can see me raise my hand, so because I don't think we're on the screen unless we talk. So just a clarification on the Fields Committee, to the public anyway. We do have a policy that if someone is on a committee, existing township committee, they cannot be applied. So I don't want anybody to think that they can just apply and then get disappointed. So did that make sense? Did everybody hear me?
Yep, that is true. However, we have appointees from various boards and committees that will be part of this Fields Committee.
Yes, I
Those
know.
people, right. So that-
Yeah, I'm just talking about new people who want to apply to be on it. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for that. And thank you again, Deputy Mayor Engel. Do we have a chat or a question in the chat?
Nope.
Oh, I see. Okay. Well, thank you, Deputy Clerk, a lot. Okay, my report, I'm going to start off by commending the professionalism of our South Essex Fire Department and the South Orange Rescue Squad this morning during the adventure that was this morning's commute. I was on scene after I got the call from the Chief Alvarez. I knew as soon as I got a call from Chief Alvarez, he wasn't wishing me a happy Wednesday morning. Something was up. I was on scene, and thank you again for your emergency planning because we were prepared, and over 350 commuters were safely and expeditiously rescued from that stranded train. Fortunately, it had not made itself too far away from Maplewood towards South Orange. So having people walk safely and carefully along the tracks back to Maplewood train station wasn't, a heavy lift. I really was impressed with the level of coordination and professionalism. And I also want to commend New Jersey Transit. Yes, we know that it was because of a failure in the power line that this occurred, but they did arrive on the scene very quickly, and they quickly arranged alternate transportation for a lot of those commuters on 2 buses that left Oakview and Valley and took people to Newark Penn Station. And throughout the day, I stayed in contact with them. And of course, as people know by now, they worked to repair the issue so that service can resume on the Morris Essex and Gladstone lines. So kudos there. The state budget. The state has a budget, at least in draft form. Fortunately, before the end of business on Friday, before the holiday weekend, the legislature and the governor, what is that?
It's just a fan.
On the computer.
On the computer. Okay. Yes, the legislature and the governor came to an agreement. The governor signed a 53-point-something billion budget, which has some great features that a lot of advocates fought for, including expanded property tax relief for seniors, and including allowing all municipalities, including Maplewood, to recover more monies in terms of energy tax receipts. We're waiting from the OLS to give us our numbers, to confirm our numbers for Maplewood, and I will report on that at the next Township Committee meeting. Speaking of budgets, what's going on with our budget in Maplewood? We obviously had hoped to have adopted our budget by now, but according to the latest estimate from the finance department, it looks like we will be able to adopt our budget in August. Why haven't we adopted our budget yet? We haven't adopted our budget yet because the state has not completed its review of our budget. Why hasn't the state completed its review of our budget? Because they have yet to receive our annual financial statement, which we call AFS. We love acronyms in government. The AFS has not been submitted to the state because we are behind in reconciliations. Bank reconciliations needed to tie our revenues and expenses to appropriate accounts. And we understand that there were some vacancies in the finance department last year that were not taken care of by then administration. We're in a better place this year, and they're working furiously to catch up to complete the bank reconciliations so that we can file the AFS this month, so that we can get to adoption of our budget in early August. Municipal operations continue under temporary appropriations, of course, which reflect the priorities discussed during our budget process throughout the year. And capital borrowing discussed in the 2023 budget process has already been approved through recently adopted bond ordinances, and we have begun making capital purchases. So when we introduce the amended budget and get close to adoption, we will do a presentation to the community. And I'm pleased to say that none of this is going to affect what we have talked about throughout the year in terms of what our budget would look like or affect in any way the 5.4 or so tax increase that we announced and presented before. So July 4th. Thank you to the deputy mayor and thank you to committee member DeLuca. Both of them and myself were part of the planning that is our this year's July 4th celebrations in the township. We had a really fun bike parade. It's always so popular. A lot of kids and families came out. Many adults came after they ran the 5K with their kiddos and their decorated bikes. And of course, we had more decorations for them. And we just almost made it before the torrential downpour began, which was welcome because it was very steamy and humid. And as the deputy mayor mentioned, our rescheduled fireworks are tomorrow night. Come on out and enjoy something for everyone. Now, I know that not everyone out there has been pleased with what we did this year. I know a lot of people want more. So guess what? Join us in the planning of July 4th for next year to make it even bigger. These events, folks, are not planned by elected officials. They're not planned by the governing body. We're not event planners. That's not our job up here. What we do is support events that are planned by community groups and other organizations. We support financially through the township budget. We support in kind with police and fire support, EMT support, and we're liaisons to make sure that the events get what they need in terms of event planning meetings and helping folks get through the bureaucracy of the township to have their events be produced the way they hope they're produced. But we do not plan the events ourselves. So we need help. Now that we don't have a Maplewood Civic Association that is active, it was the Civic Association that planned our July 4th activities in the township for many years. We're looking to create a new committee. So by Friday, township administration has assured me that the July 4th committee, we're going to be calling it, will be another volunteer opportunity that people can sign up for. So just like you use the volunteer resource form that's on the website right now to get involved with recreation or the pool advisory committee or the other things that people sign up for, you can now also sign up to be on a July 4th committee. Not looking just for ideas, we're looking for people who are actually going to produce the event, which means also coordinating volunteers, and it also means fundraising. The big event that people remember from the past, again, was not supported 100%, paid for by the township. There was a lot of public fundraising involved, and it takes at least a year to put a big event like that together. So, you want more? Get involved. That's what I have to say about that. And we talked about Maplewood stock. I think we've had so much rain in the past week. I think this weekend is clear of rain, knock on wood, and we're going to have a hot, fun Maplewood stock on Saturday and Sunday. Any questions from my colleagues?
Mayor, did we decide on the children's races? Are we rescheduling them for Thursday?
We spoke to the Soma Fox Running Club the other day as it was raining and asked them if they would be available to do them tomorrow night. And they said that they would be available so long as the tents stayed up and the tents and the cones have stayed up. So we can reach out to them tomorrow to confirm that.
Mayor,
Yes, I will text her right now.
Okay. Thank you for that.
Mayor,
All right.
Mayor,
That's the end of reports from elected officials. Discussion items. We have
Mayor.
only one discussion item.
Mayor
Mayor,
DeLuca.
And that is the area in need of redevelopment study. Block 12-02 in Maplewood Village. So we've talked about this
Mayor.
before in different subcommittees. Let me pull up my notes here. Right. So we've discussed this in the Economic Development Committee, the Committee on Entrepreneurship and Economic Development, rather. It has been presented and discussed by the Maplewood Village Alliance Board. It's also been shared with Historic Preservation. What is it? The study that our planner produced for us is not a redevelopment plan. It is not a redevelopment agreement. That would be with a designated redevelopment entity. It merely studies the zone in the village that we asked our planner to look at to assess if it qualifies for redevelopment. And the Township Committee doesn't have an official role in terms of voting on the study. But if the Township Committee supports our moving it on to the next stage, which would be for the Planning Board to review it, that's where official action will be taken.
Can we? But that we, I don't think the, well, let me just check. I thought that the planning board does not deal with this. They deal with the plan. They don't deal with the study. Am I correct, Mr. Desiderio?
I thought they also
I
look
think
at the
they-
study.
They hope. Can anybody hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, because we've had a problem. Miss Adams has been trying to get through, but when we get done with this, if you would recognize Miss Adams, I think she has a question. No, the statute 48-12A6 says that the planning board conducts the hearing, Mr. DeLuca. So the
The
governing
hearing on
body-
what? On the plan, on the study?
Yes,
Right. It reviews it in keeping with the master plan, right?
yes, the governing body.
Well, what, I don't get that. No, I mean, because what are they saying? It's keeping with the master plan. There's no plan. It just says whether or not these.
Qualify as.
No, I didn't say anything about the master plan.
Okay, so what
governing body
hearing is there?
Okay, let me read. The governing body of the municipality shall assign the conduct of the investigation and hearing to the planning board of the municipality. The resolution authorizing the planning board to undertake a preliminary investigation shall state whether the development area determination shall authorize the municipality to use all its powers by the legislature for use in the redevelopment area. So they get it, they conduct the hearing, they give notice to the public, they make a recommendation back to you, and then you pass a resolution to adopt it or not to adopt it.
The study.
The study.
You know, okay. Okay. I don't agree. I don't understand how the planning board would have a hearing on a study that was done. So the study was done. And what would they have a hearing about? There's nothing to have a hearing about. Are they going to refute the experts' findings?
Well, the answer is that the expert will appear and answer questions from the public, and it's conceivable that there may be comments that are contrary to his recommendations. That's correct.
Okay, all right.
I mean, there's a whole litany of things the way it's supposed to be conducted pursuant to the statute. And I've spoken to Mr. Greigel, and he agrees that he will make himself available to appear for the hearing.
So you're saying that the planning board, let's say here, lot 175, the planning board can say that the lots 175 does not meet the qualifications?
The planning board can, based upon the hearing that it has, make recommendations back to the committee. They can't make a final determination. The final determination is yours. The township committees.
Okay, all right, okay.
And by the way, Mr. DeLuca, I'm only quoting from the statute. I'm not, these are not my rules.
Yeah, well, I guess maybe okay. Okay. I just want to be clear because I want to make sure that we're not that I want to be clear that the township committee is the one who designates lots, not the planning board.
Clearly
Right.
correct. You are 100% correct.
Okay,
We're sending it to them for a hearing and a recommendation, and then they will come back and they will give you their hearing and recommendation, and then the township committee will make a final determination by resolution.
and that recommendation is,
I have no idea.
what are they recommending?
They'll recommend that they agree with the study. They'll recommend that property so-and-so should not be. I have no idea what they're going to recommend or not recommend.
Okay.
But I think the
I
process.
would agree to send it to the planning board. If our attorney says we should do it, then we should do it.
Right.
One of the things that this does is eliminate the need for the township committee to have its own hearing. And you don't have to do it by ordinance. So it effectively, you are delegating to a lesser entity, forgive me, planning board, the responsibility to hold a hearing and to get public input with regard to this. Okay? My assumption is the planning board will do a report and will tell you that Mr. Jones had an issue with regard to this or whatever. I don't know. But you don't have to go through that process. You have the planning board do that process for you.
That part makes sense to me. What I don't get is the recommendation part.
Okay.
I can understand that we're the planning board, and maybe you're going to read me the statute again, so I'll be quiet.
Okay.
I just can't see the planning board second guessing the professional judgment of whether or not, but I guess if it does, then we're going to make the decision.
It's been my experience, the planning board second guesses the township committee all the time. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but that's.
No,
been my
you are right,
experience.
but we haven't made a decision yet, so, okay.
Okay. So, first of
Let me-
all,
if
I'm
I-
going to ask
Let
Township
me
Administrator.
just read one more thing. At the hearing, which may be adjourned from time to time, planning board should hail all persons who are interested in or affected by a determination that the delineated area is a redevelopment area. All objections to such a determination and evidence in support of those objections given orally in writing shall be received and considered and made part of the public record. After completing the hearing, the planning board shall recommend the designated area or any part there would be determined or not determined by the municipal governing body to a redevelopment area.
Okay,
So that's their role.
all right. I've been educated, thank you.
I think we've all been educated. Thank you, Mr. Desiderio. So I'd like to ask Township Administration to put the study up on our website.
Well, first, Mayor, if we may, can we get a resolution, okay, authorizing me to send this to the planning board to hold the hearing and to have this designated as, and I believe this is what you wish, a non-condemnation redevelopment area. Is that right?
Is that an area in need of redevelopment? Is that?
I'm sorry, a non-condemnation area in need of, in other words, you don't want condemnation to be part of the process. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. So I'm asking.
I'll second it if you move it, Mr. Mayor.
Yeah, I moved it, seconded by
Second.
committee member DeLuca.
Ms. Adams,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Mr. DeLuca,
Yes,
Ms. Engel.
Yes.
Mayor Daffis.
Yes, thank you. I just want to know for the public that's watching this, maybe the two people who are still with us tonight, that the study reviewed 8 entities or lots, as they're called, within the zone. Most notably, the 2 buildings that precipitated the request from us for a study included are the Bank of America building and what we call the Maplewood Theater building, including the parking lot behind that building, which the township owns and is therefore a stakeholder in any future redevelopment. The study concludes that both properties or entities do indeed qualify for redevelopment. The study concludes that within the studied zone, 6 of the 8 lots qualify for redevelopment. Again, we're going to put the study up on our website, make it easily accessible. I've had conversations with the property owners affected. Like I said, some of them are on the MVA and they know about it through there as well, because we've discussed it at the MVA hearing, and we have shared it with HBC. I think committee member Adams forwarded it on to HBC, right? Committee member Adams, maybe?
Yes, I believe they actually met with the planner in the process.
Oh, even better. Terrific. Okay, so it's moving on and more discussion on that coming up. There's a second thing I want to ask for before we move over to the consent agenda. It's been our common practice to not have a second meeting in August and honor a little rest time and some vacation time for members of the Township Committee. I recommend that we do the same again this year, not have our second meeting in August. Is there support for that?
Support for that.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Do we need a roll call for
Yeah,
that?
we need a motion.
I move it.
Ms. Adams,
Yeah, I second.
Who's second?
I
Okay,
second it.
okay.
Yes,
Ms. Kreip,
Yes.
Mr. DeLuca.
Yes.
Ms. Engel.
Yes.
Mayor Daffis.
Yes, thank you. Consent agenda. Can I get a
Mayor,
motion?
Mayor, before you go there, Miss Adams, did you
Yeah.
want to get in here?
sure, yeah. I don't know what happened, but Jermaine and, I'm sorry, Ms. Kripe, Mr. Desiderio and I were all sort of yelling at the end of the mayor's report because but nobody could hear us. And the mayor moved into the other. So this was with regard to your report on the 4th of July committee. I know, I don't even remember when but it was maybe a couple years ago, we had a public conversation about the 4th of July and the desire, because you kept saying people want more, there was actually a desire to bring it back to a more modest celebration and more affordable celebration and more open to everyone, because we had this long conversation about it a couple years ago, because there's less security needed. The park is open to everyone. The, old hometown, old fashioned kind of thing was lacking when it got so big that the whole park was fenced off. So I just want to be sure that we're remembering that conversation as we move.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I don't mean to cut you off. First of all, our screen over here on our end went dark. That is why we didn't see you or hear from you. And the audio in here is a bit challenging. It kind of bounces around on the high ceiling. So sorry, we missed you. But yeah, I want to make it clear. I meant to mention that in my remarks about July 4th, that we're not going back to the event of a fenced-in park and paid entry. Certainly the circus is not coming back and some of those things. So once we have a committee together, we will make it very clear to everyone that we're looking for a more modest, small town America type of event, and we will have designated liaisons from the governing body to ensure that throughout the planning process.
Great, thank you. I just wanted to make sure that was remembered.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I've said so in my public comments in the various social media threads where people have tagged me and called me the person who's ended America in Maplewood in favor of pride. Yeah, that's what some people have said to me.
I missed that.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Anyway, I wasn't going to say that.
I move the consent agenda.
Okay, let's move.
Second.
Okay.
Wait, Mayor,
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes.
sorry. 14A, I was not present, so we need to pull that.
Yes, because you were right. You were not with us. So let's move items 14B through 14J. Can I get a motion?
Still move it.
Second.
Second.
Ms. Adams,
Yes,
Ms. Kreip,
Yes.
Mr. DeLuca.
Yes.
Engel.
Yes.
Mayor Daffis.
Yes. I'm going to move the closed session minutes from June 20th, 2023.
Second.
Ms. Adams,
same.
Ms. Kreip,
Yes.
Mr. DeLuca.
Yes.
Engel.
Yes.
Mayor Daffis.
Yes, this brings us to our second public comment period for any subject matter. Gentlemen, any members of the public?
If any members of the public would like to speak, please raise your hand and we can allow you to speak and give you 3 minutes for public comment. If any members of the public would like to speak, please raise your hand now. Mayor, no one's raised their hand.
Okay, we will close the public comment and move that we adjourn and meet
Can I
again.
just, oh, I'm sorry. I just wanted to say one thing. I had asked, for our next meeting, we want to give a short presentation of our community energy plan.
Oh,
Okay? So,
great.
so make sure community energy plan gets on for a presentation.
Oh, maybe you'll speak to me about who's making the presentation.
Maybe not, but yes.
I move that we adjourn.
Second.
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 Ms. Adams,
Yes, please.
Ms. Wright,
Yes.
Mr. DeLuca,
Yes.
Ms. Engel.
Yes.
Mayor Daffis.
To see you on the 18th.
Have a good one.